and welcome to the 2025 video. My favorite things of the year. This year was really good for media. It had a lot of banger shit. And I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about. This year's top 10 was really rough to finalize and get through. But we're going to get through this together. We have a lot of fun stuff to talk about, good stuff to talk about. Nothing sad. Don't worry. Usual rules. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, anime, manga, the works. Nothing that came out outside of this year, even if I watched it for the first time this year, because that's cheating. And there's a lot of stuff I watched this year, mainly movies. A lot of old movies. So, why are we wasting time? Let's get into it. Number 10, 28 years later. This one might seem a little weird. If you've watched the movie, if you've met me, it might seem a little odd. This movie was good, and I think most people would agree with that. But number 10 on a list of my favorite things of the year? Yeah, I have a lot of stuff about the movie I want to talk about, of course. But first and foremost, I want to talk about one thing. And this thing is that for the longest time, I always knew what I wanted my first tattoo to be. I wanted it to be a memento mori tattoo. I know, cringe, remember that there's death, whatever. But that saying has always meant a lot to me. It means a lot to what I believe, how I feel about life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. But a few years ago, I changed my mind. That I didn't want it to be just memento mori. I wanted it to be something more. And I landed on this very unknown, not so talked about thing like memento mori, memento amoris. Something very similar, but very, very different at the same time. Remember love. Remember that there is love no matter what. And this movie, randomly, in the middle of the third act, hit me with this after I had already discovered this, never heard anybody talk about it, and already decided what that meant to me. This movie found that. It said that to me in a very palpable movie about love and going to the ends of the earth for somebody that you love, even if it might be all in vain. And then this guy just spouts some crazy knowledge about remembering that there's love, and no matter what, there will always be love with you from those who might be gone. And the reason I bring this up is because I got my first tattoo this year. You can't see it, I'll pop up a picture. But basically, the A and the S are in red to signify the difference between just the memento mori into the greater memento amoris. Because to me, that's what this is all about. That is the reason I chose to put this at number 10. Because in all honesty, I would have just put this in the honorable mentions and flexed my tattoo at that time. It's not what I wanted to do. Because I wanted to start off this list heavy, setting the tone for the rest of the video. This year, for me, was a lot about learning love. Love for myself, love for what I do, others, the whole works, you know. And I think this tattoo really shows that. And this movie really showed that in a very unexpected way. I love 28 Days Later. 28 Weeks Later isn't real. And 28 Years Later, I think, was a genuinely emphatic, beautiful movie about love in a fucking zombie apocalypse. And this wasn't just an excuse to show off my tattoo, I promise. That was me trying to ram home the point of why this movie hit me as hard as it did. And yeah, and you know, this is my list. I'm going to talk about the movies in whatever the fuck way I want to. number 9, Absolute Batman. I don't actually think I've ever talked about a comic on here. I only really got into them this year. I've always read individual runs, like random kind of stuff, mostly Spider-Man. But this year, I really kind of popped out. I went to the comic book store a lot, bought a lot of new issues. I've been reading the Matt Fraction Batman, DCKO, unfortunately Spider-Man, and Absolute Batman, as well as some of the other Absolute stuff. But Absolute Batman, I think for me, was definitely the spotlight, the main event. This shit is so cool. I love the way that Scott Snyder shows Batman and his ingenuity, his creativity, not having this filthy amount of money and instead having to rely on his brutality and his creativity in the ways of beating the shit out of people. And technically this didn't start coming out this year, but it is still coming out this year, so thought it counted. And I love Batman. I've always loved Batman. Close 2 or 3, him and Superman. But I think Absolute Batman is the best Batman has been in a while. Not even to say that Batman hasn't been good lately. He's always great. But he's just, he's something. Now, if you guys remember my 2022 video, Avatar: Way of Water really, really got me. And this year, Avatar: Fire and Ash came out, and while it was not exactly the same, not quite as moving to me as the second one, because the second one was genuinely a religious experience for me, it still maintained everything that second movie had and really delivered. Jake Sully continues to be one of my favorite Hollywood leads in a franchise ever. I love the nuances of his role as a father, as a husband, as a grieving father, and a leader. He really is just such an incredible character, and Sam Worthington does such a good job expressing that and expressing this little details of the troubles that Jake Sully goes through in these movies. And Quaritch, oh my god, in this I loved him in the second movie, but in the third movie he really showed out. He was my favorite part of this movie, for sure. I loved him. His relationship with Spider, his relationship with the peacock lady, I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name. Just really beautiful stuff. I think it was fun. I think it was action-packed. I thought it was so heartfelt. Some incredible moments built upon each other. A lot from the second movie, but really delivered in a really, really fun, wild climactic battle. I've seen a lot of people say it just kind of feels like The Way of Water again, and I don't necessarily agree with that at all. It feels sort of like a continuation, which it should. It's a sequel. But it was taking all of the thread points from the second movie and really finalizing them, finishing off their stories, doing that kind of thing. And I think it really did a great job. And I loved the Fire, Ash, and people. They were super cool. Those wind guys that showed up for literally 10 minutes were so awesome. I love this movie. I love all of the kids. I love this family. It's really something. Avatar is really something. Yakuda. I think this one is here purely for vibes. I love the vibe. I love the look of this show. I also have started reading it as well, but we are specifically more talking about the anime that came out this year. Just really, really something. Studio Bones really put their whole pussy into it. It's just really pretty to look at. The line art is consistently fantastic. The moments of blowing out animation are so crazy. I love all the characters. I love Rudo. and I love where I'm pretty sure they're taking this character. It's a super fun ensemble story and a very unique premise that I adore. These guys are just taking trash that they love and turning it into superpowers. That's kind of fucking awesome. Rudo, my goat, loves everything that other people don't and finds a use for it, and it's my recycling king. 3R, baby. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of fun. Super fun action sequences, well animated. A banger soundtrack, absolutely banger soundtrack. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where the story goes. I haven't read much past where the anime went, but I think it's got a good future here. I think it does. So during the production time of this video, I did in fact go back and read more of the Gachiakudo manga and follow my goat. Dude, I think I just had a feeling, and I think I was right that Gachiakudo might be the one, and it has such beautiful art. The story and where it goes after the first season of the anime is so fucking beautiful, and it's got so many surprises. And if you haven't, please read it. If you liked the anime, please read it. I have no idea how long it's going to be until we get a second season, because I feel like a second season would kind of catch up to where we currently are in the manga. So just please do yourself a favor and read about my goat follow. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Dispatch. So this game came out of nowhere for a lot of people, and it did for me too, especially because I didn't start playing it until the day before the final 2 episodes dropped, and I played all 6 episodes up until then, or 6 to 8 episodes? Yeah. So I played the up until the finale in that day, and then I played the finale with everybody. And wow. A really, really heartfelt story about a superhero who's down on his luck, lost his one thing that he could do to help people, and really just has a heart of gold. It's a tall tale like choose your own adventure kind of thing. And I don't know, I just love the story. I think it depends where you took the story, of course, how you loved it, but you can tell that this game was made by a group of very, very passionate people that love games, people that love telling stories, people that love superheroes. It's palpable everywhere. The characters are all lovable, every single one of them. I really, really loved the gameplay part of it, where you're sending all your superheroes around, dispatching and stuff. I loved the main character. I loved Blonde Blazer. I loved Invisigal. I loved Sonar. I loved everybody in this game. And I know you're all wondering, James, what did you choose? Who was your baddie that you ended up with? I'm just saying, I'm a healed man. Blonde Blazer all the way, baby. Sorry, I'm sorry. I know so many people are actively going to dislike this video now because I just said that. Hear me out. For me, Invisigal was very much a mentee-mentor dynamic that, sure, I guess could have some romance if you wanted that, but I just got way more of like a paternal thing. And Blonde Blazer, that's Miss Mams. And didn't kill this fucker and saved everybody. Invisigal stayed cool. Basically, I accidentally played this game in the most goated way possible. And yeah, I love a good choose your own adventure, and I think this is one of the best I've ever played. Easy. It really stuck out as the actually only game I beat this year. It's fine. Everything's fine. Number 5, Chainsaw Man Rize Arc movie. Holy shit. I don't know what I can say about this movie besides it is beautiful. It's just gorgeous. The soundtrack, the animation, the story. I've always loved the Rize arc. Chainsaw Man has always had a very, very close place in my heart, and Rize arc is where that started for me. And it got so much justice in this movie. The In the Sea, in the Pool soundtrack had such a chokehold on me for like 2 months. And I love this movie. The final battle is so good. So fun to look at. I genuinely just some of the craziest animation I've ever seen. Also spawned some of the craziest slander, power scaling with Rize and Bakugo. And just, it's a lot of fun. And I really think this showed out this year as the anime movie that came out. And yes, I mean that. Number 4 is a little different. I don't think I've ever actually done this before. Maybe a few years ago, before it was a top 10 list. But we have a book in the top 10, and that is going to be No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. Really a tough book to talk about and also recommend, because it's not really about anything. It's just about this guy who had a really difficult life, a life that was null of meaning, a life that he trudged through. And it's not a long book either. It's not like you even really get to know him. It's basically journal entries, so you kind of have this impending sense of unreliable narrator the entire time, especially with just the way he acts, the way he talks. You just can't really trust it. You can't trust that this is exactly how he felt, even. Not alone just what happened. Is this even really how he felt about the situation? It is a poignant look into the mind of a very depressed man. And I read this at a time that I think was the best time I could have read it. Because I think if I read this in a very depressive state of my own, it would have just sucked. It would have just sucked and kept me there and made me loiter. But I didn't read it at a happy time either. I read it at a very transitional state. And I think that's why it means so much. That's why it's so high up on this list. It's truly just a book showing you the depths of the human mind, of what can happen to anybody, just not having purpose, focus, depressed, that kind of thing. And it's harrowing. It's really one of the most unsettling books I've ever read. And I think it's beautiful. And there's a reason I kept it. There's a reason it's here. There's a reason I love it so much. And if you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. I still really want to read the Junji Ito manga adaptation, but I haven't gotten to it yet because the book just really sat heavy, and I wanted to keep that idea of the story in my head for a while until I got to talk about it on here. So who knows, maybe we're gonna talk about more books in the future. I've been reading a lot more, and maybe, I don't know, book review. So honorable mentions. There was a lot of movies I liked this year that I want to say. I loved The Long Walk. I loved One Battle After Another. Predator Badlands was really good. Thunderbolts was great. Second best superhero movie. Everybody knows I love Superman. That was my movie of the year, maybe besides one coming up. And Marty Supreme I watched, I think, literally on the day before New Year's Eve. So a bit of a late entry and was fantastic. I loved that movie, but it's not super personal. I like to keep this list very personal for me. That movie was just an objectively really good movie. So, but it could have made it. Caught Stealing, that Austin Butler movie, really came out of nowhere for me, but I really, really loved it. I think that might have been some of the most fun I've had in the theater this year. Even though that movie is also kind of devastating, it's a lot of fun. Great watch. I loved One Piece. One Piece had a crazy good year, both in anime and manga, which I feel like I've been saying for the past 3 years. But One Piece is always going to be thrown out in this video every year. I loved JJK Modulo so much. I really think that might be the one, but I didn't want to put it on this list because it's not done and it's a pretty shorter series. I think we only have like 12 chapters left. So I will definitely be making a video on that when that finishes, because holy shit, Gege's in his bag. I watched Perfect Blue this year. That was really, really good. One of the best anime movies I watched this year. I did watch Demon Slayer. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I really liked how they did Akaza's backstory, and the last fight was really cool, and Zenitsu popped out, and you know what? It was fun. I also loved To Be Hero X. The reason it didn't make into the top 10 was that honestly just a lot of the middle part was just not super interesting. But I loved Mr. Nice, this motherfucker right here. Come on, I love this guy, and I love this guy, and it was a lot of fun. I love this anthology kind of style and the way it all kind of wraps together in the end to open up into season 2, which is just going to be a big fucking Sakuga fest, I'm sure. I also loved the changing art styles. I thought that was really cool. Hopefully season 2 delivers whenever that happens, and maybe I can talk about it again in the future. We'll see. But yeah, I thought this was a very interesting and really cool thing. Honestly, like there was some specific parts that just genuinely like stuck with me for a while. Like mainly Mr. Nice, E-Soul, just a lot of cool storytelling that I think, deserves a shout out in this video. Along with that, My Dress Up Darling Season 2, I adored. It had all the same charm as the first season, even more like romance and blah, 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 whatever. The comedy, great. The animation maintained being beautiful, art direction and all that. And, of course, My Hero Academia this year, the anime, I loved. Please go check out my video on it. I genuinely am so proud of it. I'm so proud of what I put into that video, and it's great to see you guys also loving it. So if you haven't watched it, do. It's pretty cool. Invincible Season 3. This one's tough because it had some lows that I really just didn't like. It felt very weak in spots, but at the same time had one of the single greatest last stretches in something, I think, this year in total. The Invincible War and Conquest, just so good, so fun. Yeah, that final episode with Conquest, just so good. That is, I think, the best piece of American like fight animation I've seen in a minute. Like, that whole episode is just such a feast for the eyes. The heart of it, a random movie that I watched for a class that I want to mention that definitely wouldn't have made it in the top 10, but really, really liked. It's called Society. It's like 1980 something. It's a very odd horror that is both a like social anxiety horror and also like a body horror thing, where you just kind of feel like everything around you is wrong. I love that movie. I don't know. It is some of the best practical effects I've ever seen for like body horror. The last 20 minutes of that movie are fucking insane. If you like body horror, watch it. If that shit creeps you out, maybe don't. It's not bloody, so don't worry about that. But yeah, it's weird. Lastly, I do want to mention Stranger Things. This is less of an honorable mention and more of a pity mention. I've always loved Stranger Things. I loved the first season. Second season was fantastic. Third season I also loved to an extent. Fourth season I thought was fun. This season really wasn't it, and I know that's not a hot take, but it is still a little bittersweet to see it go off the way it did. I did really like the epilogue, like the last like 20-30 minutes of the finale. I did really like that, but I think overall could have been better. I'm not here to shit on it though. I don't want this channel to ever just be me making a platform of being a hateful son of a bitch, even though I am. But yeah, I did want to pay it its respects, because I did grow up watching it and everybody fucking talks about it. So, you know, it was pretty cool, I guess. Yeah, so fuck that rule I said earlier about movies that only came out this year. I only really said that because there was a lot of movies that came out this year that I loved, and I was gonna put those in the top 3, but I wanted to switch it up on you like I do every time, because Possession is, I think, the best horror movie I've ever seen. This movie has such a way of dragging you with it. It's not guiding you. It's not even telling you where to go. It's not pushing you along. It is taking you by the wrist and dragging you through the blood, mud, and dirt to get to where it wants you to go. In a way that seems calm, almost. Basically, this movie is about a couple in the middle of divorcing each other. And what ensues is one of the most intense examples of eldritch terror I've ever experienced. In this woman slowly losing her mind, her husband slowly losing his mind in reaction to it. It's terrible and awful. And I just couldn't take my eyes off it. Honestly, by the end of the movie, I only half knew what happened. But there's a few scenes that, even if the rest of the movie was ass, which it wasn't, the movie is incredible, top to bottom, but even if that was the case, there's like 3 or 4 scenes that would have made this in this top 10 list. Anyway, of course, I gotta mention the subway underground scene that this woman has, and it is so awful. This lady, I can't remember her name. Hold on. She has one of the best performances I have literally ever seen. I watch a lot of movies. I have actor friends. I genuinely think this is one of the best performances I've ever seen. This woman is losing her mind, and you can feel it coming off of her skin. She's not even being super overt about it most of the time. It's just this deep, subtle uncomfortableness that's just something's wrong. And when it cracks, it spews out of her performance. Just insane. I adored this movie. The body horror that comes at parts is insane. I am a big fan of body horror. I think it's really grotesquely fascinating to me. Horror always has been a big thing for me, of course, but it doesn't usually scare me a lot of the time. But 2 things that really can unsettle me pretty consistently when done right is body horror and eldritch horror kind of deal. And this movie has both, and in some of the best ways I've ever seen, bar none. It is such a fantastic movie. So much so, like, I genuinely could not imagine not putting this on this list as soon as I watched it this year. And I really wanted to do this in a just stuff that came out this year way, but I just couldn't not. I couldn't not.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Savage!
Number 2, my favorite movie that came out this year, easily, Sinners. I adore this movie. I watched this in theaters, I think 4 times, 3 on its initial run, and then once on the re-release in IMAX that happened in like October. It is beautiful. It is a tale about brotherhood, which we all know gets me. It's a tale about familial love. It's a tale about regular love. It's a tale about music, art, and it's also just a fucking rad vampire movie. Ryan Coogler really did his thing here. Michael B. Jordan has one of my best performances of the year. Just really top to bottom incredible. Playing 2 different characters that are very similar in a lot of ways, but have these differences and then the subtle differences that this one guy is portraying that in such a way that it's like, as soon as they open their mouths, you can tell who's Stack and who's Smoke for the rest of the movie. Even without the beautiful costume design of their colors and everything, even without that, I could tell who was who for the rest of the movie easily, because their characters are so just, they bleed through the screen in a wonderful way. Remick has one of my favorite villain performances of the year, maybe my favorite villain performance of the year. He is incredible in this movie. Sammy, this guy, yeah. Of course, the scene that everybody loves, that I adore in this movie, is when he sings and the barn opens up and people from all times come in, black musicians come in and elevate this song that Sammy's singing. It's just, yeah, it's incredible. But for me, not that it's better, but a scene that really stands out as to why I think this movie works so well is the scene in the car with Stack and Sammy. And, you know, in a movie like this, it's only going to work as well as the main kid, the one who's singing the heart of this film, the plot line, you know, him having a ethereal voice that literally calls vampires to take him, you know, that kind of thing. You have to sell that. You have to be able to sell that and make that realistic. And even if he just had a beautiful voice, I'd be like, all right, yeah, sure, that works. But Miles Canton, in that scene, first time he sings, really sings, I did the exact same thing that Stack did. Just, like, looking at him like, holy shit, this kid's got it. Like, that is so the crux of this movie, and the fact they so effortlessly made that point, that his voice is really something else, is awesome. And the fact that he has that much talent to be such an incredible actor, have this incredible voice. Yeah, I adored this movie. Literally everything about it, top to bottom. It's got some of the best rewatch value I've ever seen. You notice new stuff every time. First half and the second half have such distinct styles, and I love that difference. When Michael B. Jordan came out with a fucking semi-automatic machine gun, whatever the fuck that was, and just started blowing the shit off of a bunch of KKK members, movie of the year right there. Didn't even need any other evidence. That was the shit. That's out of the way. I mean that. Sinners is my top movie of the year. And if I didn't decide to watch this movie literally 3 days before New Year's Eve, Sinners would be number one right now. Easy. Something else would have taken the place, you know, later down the line, whatever. But I'm breaking my rule twice because I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And a lot of why I love this movie is personal. A lot of why this movie moved me so much is personal. And this channel that I love and adore, and all of you, is something really personal to me and something that I want to share. But to an extent, I really can't in a lot of ways. But what I will say is that this movie is about a man grieving. It's about a man grieving a lost love and wanting to throw that away, wanting to forget about it, half in a rage and a jealousy and deep, deep sadness, and in that wanting to throw away the memory of a woman he loved. He regrets it and he tries to run away from it and he tries to change that decision and he just can't. And this movie is such a beautiful exploration of loving someone and what they want to show you and what you want to find out about them, what they are willing to share, what you're willing to share, and how love, no matter what, is a two-way street. You can't truly love somebody unless they give you something in return. They share something of theirs in return, you know? And I think that grief, that regret that he shows throughout this movie, that he gains throughout this movie, is just so palpable and real, because Jim Carrey gives one of the best performances of his, easily. I think it might be his best performance, actually. I think it just is. And, you know, at what cost? Yeah, I know that the situations around this movie and his mental state wasn't great, and I think that's terrible, but it did give us this gift that, for a lot of people, I think, brought them out a very bad time. And, you know, I've heard about this movie for a long time. I kind of knew what it was about, like, vaguely. And I always thought, I was like, yeah, this is just going to have a bad ending, because everybody was like, oh my god, this movie made me want to die, you know, it's terrible, whatever. But I think this movie might have the literal definition, like the number one example for me of a bittersweet ending I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. Do not let me spoil this or anything else about this movie. But the fact that at the end, after all of this turmoil of them, you know, breaking up, getting back together, running away from each other, running after each other, subconsciously or not, and they almost lose their chance again, and they just both hit each other with it. Okay. They've spouted everything that's wrong with them and why it won't work again, and yet they're both like, okay. I think to me that's fucking beautiful, that they just want to try again anyway. You know, that's love. That's, our hearts don't make sense, you know? And I think there's a lot of lessons you can take from this movie. You can take that one. You can take, you know, don't run away from people that you've loved in the past. It means something. It meant something. And, you know, I took a lot of lessons from it. Lessons that were good. But yeah, I don't know. We all know that, you know, romance, drama, tragedy, horror are my little secrets that I love. And this is the most horrific movie I've ever seen. So. And hey guys, with that, 2025 year in review. It's a little weird this time. I don't know, it felt weird. I watched a lot this year. I did a lot this year. I felt more passionate about doing this on the channel than I think I ever have. But instead of doing what I usually do and spouting some promises or spouting some kind of, declarations, we're not going to focus on what I have done. We're not going to focus on what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I am doing right now. And what I am doing right now is I'm feeling a passion for this unlike I ever have. And I hope that that comes across in everything I do from now on, because I'm holding on to this feeling. And whatever that looks like, who knows? I don't know. I really don't know what that's going to look like. But we're going to take it day by day. I am working on some very rough, long projects, but I think they're really going to be worth it if they come to fruition. If they don't, hey, we'll see what comes out of it anyway. And yeah, in the big 2026, you and me, we're just going to do our best. Because that's all we can do, you know? Keep going, keep going. Do what you got to do what you can do. But don't beat yourself up about anything. You're doing your best. And me too. So, with that, I love you guys. Thank you for watching this. For those that do sit through these, my favorite things, it means a lot. Every year, these videos are strictly just for me, basically. It's basically just for me to talk about stuff that I love, talk about stuff that I couldn't talk about. So, you know, you don't watch this, fine, whatever. Watch the next Godzilla video, that's fine. And anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching.